Funding for the Year of the Trail is provided by SECU Foundation. We're proving how combining just $1 from contributing SECU members can generate enormous support towards solving problems in our North Carolina neighborhoods, schools, and communities. The generosity of SECU members helps the foundation make a difference across the state and embodies our philosophy of people helping people.
North Carolina is filled with culture, adventure, and boundless opportunity. And when it comes to travel, there's something for everyone. From eating the best barbecue, to hiking the Appalachian Trail, or finding that perfect sunrise on the beach. North Carolina is an extraordinary place. But where do you start? Where would you go? And what could you do? Well, we have some suggestions. From PBS North Carolina, this is 10 to Try. North Carolina. It's been called the Great Trails State. And North Carolina trails are getting more attention than ever before. And for good reason. Our trails offer diversity of terrain, natural wonder, trail activity, and so much more. There truly is a trail here for everyone. From world-famous mountain-through hikes to our greenways and blueways connecting people and parks, cities and small towns across the state. But what makes a trail stand out among all the rest? On this episode of 10 to Try, join us as we explore 10 unique trail experiences from across the state that might just inspire your next outdoor adventure. Towering high above the Blue Ridge Parkway, the majestic peaks of Grandfather Mountain make up one of North Carolina's most revered vistas. With several routes to choose from, the only question is, which way up? Packed with views and rich in biodiversity, Grandfather Mountain State Park's Daniel Boone Scout Trail has a little something for everyone.
Grandfather Mountain is definitely my favorite mountain, and the place has been a backdrop to my life.
Beyond its sheer grandeur and beauty, Grandfather Mountain stands out as an internationally recognized biosphere reserve, boasting 16 unique ecological zones from base to the summit. Halfway up, a dense and damp hardwood forest opens to wind-flagged groves of red spruce and Fraser fir, only found in the highest elevations of the Appalachians.
Getting out into nature is therapeutic. You can't appreciate the natural environment you live in unless you get out and experience it.
Flat Rock Lookout offers the perfect rest spot and the first of many incredible views along the trail. Nearing the top, the historic High Balsam Shelter has protected campers for 80 years. Just beyond, a set of fixed ladders assist hikers on the steepest section of the route, and the final push to the summit of Callaway Peak. It's a great place to pause and take in the incredible beauty of Grandfather Mountain before heading back down the 2.5-mile, 2,000-foot descent to the trailhead. For those that prefer 4-legged transportation over 2, we've got the perfect trail for you. Carvers Creek State Park in North Carolina's Sandhills offers riders one of the most extensive and accessible networks of trails in the state.
I grew up trail riding. It is my time away from the busyness of the world, and it brings me a lot of peace and joy.
The park's multi-use trails vary in length and habitat, meandering past fields of wildflowers and forests of longleaf and loblolly pine. The highlight of the park is the 8-mile out and back longleaf pine trail, with opportunity to add on shorter trails along the way. While the wide, largely shaded trails here are great for hikers, joggers, and cyclists too, riders on horseback have the right of way, which means all others need to yield.
Equestrian trails in North Carolina are very needed, and we can't always ride on the greenways, so we need designated areas to ride our horses.
Be sure to check out the Little Pond Spur. Fishing is allowed, so try your hand at hooking a bluegill, or just take a break and enjoy the scenery.
One of the great things about Longleaf Pine Trail is how accessible it is. The path was pretty wide, it was smooth, it's beautiful, it's a lot of fun, and I could even see myself bringing my kids out here.
As the trail reaches its farthest point and loops back, from here, it's a 4-mile gallop, trot, or canter back to the trailhead to rest and refuel horses and riders. Grab your kayak, canoe, or paddleboard. We're headed to the coast for a saltwater paddler's dream trail. The Rachel Carson Reserve is a small collection of barrier islands and coastal marsh that can be explored via saltwater paddle trail, offering the perfect mix of adventure, natural beauty, and wildlife.
Salt water runs in my blood. It feels freeing. It's a great way just to decompress and enjoy the day outside.
Begin your paddle from the quaint seaside town of Beaufort, using one of the public launch sites along Front Street. A short 10-minute paddle across Taylor's Creek, and you'll be in the reserve where you can choose your preferred loop direction. The islands of the reserve are brimming with nature. With any luck, you'll catch a glimpse of the wild horses that have been full-time residents of the Rachel Carson Reserve since the late 1940s.
The current herd number is about 25 animals, and we monitor them continuously.
While you're paddling, keep your eyes out for bottlenose dolphin or passing sea turtles, and watch the shorelines for river otter, gray and red fox, and over 200 species of birds, including egret and heron. If you have the time and want to make a day of it, there are even beaches and boardwalks on the reserve where you can come ashore and explore by foot.
Saltwater trails are a really valuable part of North Carolina's trail system because they offer a different experience.
From walking remote island paths to paddling its vibrant coastal waters, a trip to the Rachel Carson Reserve is the perfect adventure for any trail lover. North Carolina is known for its natural beauty and outdoor recreation. But it's not just mountain and beach towns that boast great trails here. Little Sugar Creek Greenway is a relatively flat and wide urban trail connecting parks, neighborhoods, and communities all across Charlotte.
One thing about Little Sugar Creek Greenway, I get to see nice scenery versus running in a gym on a treadmill. You're always going to run into fellow joggers or walkers or bikers, so everybody's just kind of staying active.
Freedom Park and the widely popular Pond Loop is a great place to start your Greenway adventure. From there, a northern route will take you towards the businesses and restaurants of Midtown Charlotte, while the way south chases the creek through neighborhoods and parks and onto the newest section of the trail that now connects the upper and lower Greenway into one contiguous path. As the Greenway meets Marion Deal Park, you can detour for a wooded 2.7-mile loop. Downstream, the Greenway continues past Huntingtown Farms Park before reaching the southern terminus at Polk Park.
I do think North Carolina trails need to be accessible to everyone. They provide a nice, safe area with great scenery, and that's going to empower a community moving forward. So it's a great space.
All told, Little Sugar Creek now spans over 11 miles of Greenway, and it's expanding. Another 3.3 miles south are in the works, which will soon take Little Sugar Creek Greenway all the way to South Carolina. That's great news for walkers, bikers, birders, and joggers alike. On the southern edge of the Blue Ridge Parkway is the town of Cherokee, the ancestral home of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and Fire Mountain Trails, a multi-use trail system where you can hike or run. But the bike trails here are the big draw.
The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians built Fire Mountain Trails. It is some of the best flow trails in Western North Carolina.
We have an entire network of not only mountain bike trails, but we also have a lot of hiking trails. Ultimately, Fire Mountain Trails is what got me on a bike.
The climb to the top is long, with over 500 feet of elevation gain, but it's well worth the effort. Ready for the long ride down? There are several tracks to choose from, but Spearfinger, starting from Raven's Roost Lookout, offers the perfect combination of speed, flow, and scenic views. It's a purpose-built two-way single track with tree-lined straightaways and bermed turns to keep your momentum as you blaze down the trail. Named after an old Cherokee legend, Spearfinger is the perfect downhill for all levels of riders who want a fast and fun ride without all the big airs and technical features of more extreme bike trails. At the bottom, take a rest at Overlook Lounge and soak in views of the town below. Ready for more? Fire Mountain boasts 10.5 miles of trails, like the Rock Garden, where you can put your technical riding skills to the test.
These things are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're pretty much always open and accessible to anyone and everyone that wants to come.
Getting out on a bike has completely changed my life. To be able to be back out in nature, back out in fresh air, while having fun.
And the best news? Fire Mountain is expanding with plans for many more hike, bike, and jog trails coming soon. The North Carolina Piedmont, a vast plateau of rolling hills, forests, and farmland, rich in natural wonder and full of trails of all shapes and sizes. The Uwharrie Trail is a thickly wooded 40-mile point-to-point footpath in the Piedmont's Uwharrie Mountains, containing the longest stretch of contiguous single-track trail in central North Carolina.
My love for the outdoors started as a young lady. I've done Uwharrie Trail a couple of times. I just love it out here. Anything outdoors.
Not ready to take on the whole trail? There are plenty of short sections to piece together for an afternoon out and back, or an easy-to-plan overnight. Rugged and moderately challenging, the trail meanders through a thick forest of hardwood and pine and an abundant understory of wildflowers and shrubs, with multiple water sources and campsites all along the way. And while you won't find the dramatic peaks of western North Carolina here, the climb up Little Long Mountain offers a bit of exposure and some of the best mountain views on the trail.
North Carolina has amazing trails. The fact that this is right here, right outside of Greensboro, this is where we can go to take in all of nature and find that peace, find that happiness, and just live in this moment.
Whether overnighting or day hiking, jumping off Rock Trailhead is a great place to leave a vehicle or meet your ride home. While you're there, check out the Barnes Creek Overlook, the perfect spot to soak up the natural wonder and wildlife of the Uwharrie. Weaving through forest canopy, over marsh and dune, lies the perfect coastal trail for those seeking refuge from the bustle of nearby beaches. Carolina Beach State Park spans nearly 800 acres along the Cape Fear riverbanks in southeastern North Carolina, with almost 9 miles of trails to explore, including the crown jewel, Sugarloaf Trail.
The Sugarloaf Trail is a unique North Carolina trail because there are so many different ecosystems and biomes that you move through.
Beginning and ending in the marina parking lot, the 3-mile Sugarloaf Trail loop crosses through maritime forest, over tidal wetlands, and by riverside dunes. Well-marked and accessible, it's a popular spot for hikers, joggers, sightseers, birders, and nature lovers of all kinds. As the trail parts the riverbanks, it enters a maritime forest of longleaf pine and oak. Shade cools the air, and birds flutter about in the treetops.
It seems like every 20 yards or so, you come around a corner and something's totally different.
Be sure to check out the offshoot Flytrap Trail for a chance to see the rare carnivorous Venus flytrap in its natural habitat.
There's so much diversity here at Carolina Beach State Park that I don't think people realize what they have right in their own backyard. It's just a great thing to do.
From maritime forests to river's edge, Sugarloaf is the perfect trail to slow down and soak in the beauty of coastal Carolina at its finest. The Great Trails State has long been a mecca for paddlers, and more blueways are popping up all across North Carolina. The Roanoke River Paddle Trail is a 137-mile paddle and camping system that begins as a fast and rocky whitewater river, widening and slowing as it meanders towards the Pamlico Sound.
My first experience on the river was around the age of 12 with my dad when we were fishing. Some of the best paddle experiences, in my opinion, are on the lower Roanoke.
For an introduction to the trail, try paddling the lower Roanoke's Williamston to Jamesville section. The Roanoke River Basin is full of natural wonder, from rare bird and marine species to white-tailed deer, river otter, beaver, bobcats, and even black bear.
The thing about the river that appeals to me most is the peace and the quiet and the solitude that a person can experience.
For the history buffs, there's plenty here. The lower Roanoke's deep waters made it ideal for transportation, and it was widely used by Native Americans and European settlers. It also played a role in North Carolina's Underground Railroad, as the river's dense forests and creek offshoots provided important cover for freedom seekers. A not-to-miss highlight of the lower Roanoke is the Devil's Gut Natural Area, a network of swamps and creeks thick with centuries-old bald cypress and brimming with nature. Along the way, 16 raised camping platforms, including some with docks and bug screens, make overnighting easy for multi-day paddlers. With so much to offer, it's no wonder the Roanoke River Paddle Trail became North Carolina's 12th official state trail in 2021, proving that a truly great trail can be much more than just a footpath. On the edge of a quaint triangle town, nestled in a forest of pine and sycamore, lies one of the more unique trails on our list, a loop hike that combines nature with North Carolina NASCAR history. The Occoneechee Speedway Trail, along the banks of the Eno River, on the edge of downtown Hillsboro, makes use of an oval dirt track that was one of the first NASCAR tracks in the country and held races for 2 decades.
My first venture out to the Occoneechee Speedway was probably about a year after I moved to Hillsboro, and once I discovered it, I couldn't believe I hadn't been before.
From downtown Hillsboro, take the Riverwalk, an accessible and popular greenway that follows alongside the Eno, from Gold Park all the way to the Speedway Trail. While there are multiple trails here to explore, the Speedway Trail is the network's main attraction. It follows the old loop racetrack, just short of a mile, and now shrouded in a forest popular with area birders and wildlife lovers. Now an idyllic place for a weekend stroll, it's hard to imagine the days when thousands of fans cheered and cars tore around the track at speeds over 100 miles per hour.
Being outside and connecting in nature is part of the human experience. It's good for our physical health, it's good for our mental health, and it's a huge community builder.
Soon, the Occoneechee Speedway Trail will officially become part of Eno River State Park, ensuring the unique history and nature here will be preserved for generations to come. DuPont State Forest, home to some of the most breathtaking trails in the state, including a waterfall chaser's dream hike. The Three Waterfalls Trail is a series of relatively short paths that can be combined into a moderate hike of just over 4 miles, taking you to 3 of North Carolina's most picture-perfect cascades.
My experience with the Three Waterfalls Trail is that it's awesome for all ages. I bring my kiddos here, we go swimming in the water and do some hiking.
DuPont's waterfall trails are all very popular, so head out early or during the week for your best chance to avoid the crowds. The route begins as a wide, quarter-mile gravel path leading to the smallest of the 3 falls on the hike, Hooker Falls. When you're ready to move on, backtrack to the parking access and cross Little River, following the trail markers to Triple Falls. A short spur trail offers a close-up look at the middle of the 3-tiered falls. The water may look inviting, but no swimming here as the current is strong and it's just feet away from the final drop. From here, following High Falls Loop will lead you to the biggest cascade of the Three Falls Trail.
When I have family or friends come from out of town, it's where I bring them. It's my go-to place.
Don't miss the base of Falls Spur for an up-close look at the entire 150-foot drop of High Falls.
I invite you to go outside and discover the great trails that North Carolina has to offer. Nature welcomes everyone.
Whether through hiking in the Piedmont, paddling a historic river, or bumping and blazing down Fire Mountain, North Carolina trails have a little something for everyone. Feeling inspired? The next step is waiting just for you. Which will you try? We'll see you on the trail.
Funding for the Year of the Trail is provided by SECU Foundation. We're proving how combining just $1 from contributing SECU members can generate enormous support towards solving problems in our North Carolina neighborhoods, schools, and communities. The generosity of SECU members helps the foundation make a difference across the state and embodies our philosophy of people helping people.